Hi, Brian and Kristine Toon back again for another RAM update. So today is day 6, I believe, on the clock, and the leaders are getting towards the end of Illinois, about to enter Indiana. Um, Quite a battle going on, got a lot going on between Pierre, Marco, Gerhard, and Dave. One of the things, the first thing I want to point out is Dave Haas. Look at that.
In the purple.
Look at that purple line there. Look how steep that purple line is. Um, there is still a chance he may come all the way back and win this thing, especially if these guys falter at all. Speaking of which, Mark Patterson, we noticed um, this double flat line here, which is a rest here and then another rest shortly after that. I'm curious about that. They posted an update on the Race Across America Facebook page, and they came alongside Madison, and he was struggling with the heat that was in Kansas because it has gotten hot again. Um, when I raced it last year, it was just crazy hot. The beginning part of the race, it had a little bit cooler this year, but pretty much from, well, it really didn't cool off for us till like Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, but it seems like that heat is coming back now, and they said Kansas was really hot, so those guys are starting to deal with that. And Mark said he lost his mojo during Kansas, but he has it back now. Yeah.
So you can see him in the light blue. You can see Bischoff considerably in the gold, like steady, like
Very steady,
tiny little sleeps.
Yeah, and then his speed, which you can kind of tell from the slope, is very consistent. Whereas, you have up and down here for pretty much everyone else.
He's hardly slept. Amazing.
Yeah. And then let's see what else. So yeah, so Dave on his trajectory up. So that is a tight race for the front. Then where in the 50 to 59 category, my friend Eric and Ray are battling it back and forth. Those two have been locked together pretty much all day today. I've noticed as I was following that they've been online together. It's a little tricky to see here, but the the purple and the brown.
Right in the middle.
It's hard to see.
There's a whole bunch of them that must be riding really close to each other.
Yes.
And by really close, we mean like within 40 miles of each other.
Probably separating from first to end, 1726 all the way down to 1676. So 50 miles. 50 miles separating the first place here, which is Eric. Eric is the lead of that bunch right now. Though it looks like he has settled down for a nap here, as his line has flatlined here. Now, one of the things we noticed and we decided to look up was look at all these flat lines here for the honey badger.
The long flat lines on the red.
That means sleep, and so that's.
And look how steady that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So
like 5 of them.
So we looked up his details and on his individual tracking page, and we see that he is from the U.S. Martin Rubel, and what you can do is you can see down here, we zoomed in, so this is zoomed in a bit and just shows 2 of these stops. This one's about 5 hours, this was a little bit less than that. But if I refresh this page here, we'll get zoomed all the way back out. You can see his very long sleep stops. It's like a minimum of maybe 3 hours this first one. I'd say this one might have even been 4 hours. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He
said 6.
So you can clearly tell his plan was a consistent sleep, probably.
So like ride for 20 hours or 22 hours.
Yeah, and then sleep for a consistent amount of time. And the impact of that is if you look at the tracking here, look at how steep his slopes are. So that means that he is able to ride faster than everyone else. In fact, I looked at his moving average speed. It was 15.6 miles an hour. And if you compare that to some of the leaders even, moving speed, so not counting stops. Let's look at the at the very front of the race, the leader. His moving speed is 15.4. So in fact, the honey badger is 0.2 miles an hour faster while he was on the bike than the current overall leader of the entire race. But he's sleeping a lot more.
And so you can see that Pierre Bischoff has slept or stopped for a total of 10 hours
10
and
hours.
52 minutes at this point.
And the honey batcher has
Right.
slept
He
or
up here
stopped
at the top
for a whole other day.
His stop time is
One
day, 10
10
hours. So that's 34 hours
Right.
worth of stop time.
But basically
already.
24 hours more than the leader. And only 0.2 miles an hour faster while you're moving. So clearly Pierre is 300 plus miles ahead of him. So, but you got to wonder, is this guy, is he enjoying the race a lot more, a little bit fresher?
Does anybody really enjoy
No,
this?
I don't know. Speaking of which, so here they are, the RAAM shoes with the holes cut out.
Guest appearance by the RAAM shoes
Yes.
with their toe holes.
So about a year ago, a couple days ago, these holes got cut out by Pete Foray.
In Tuba City.
Yeah.
Arizona,
side of the road. I was just desperate for something to help my feet, and Pete did a great job to help the front of my feet. Really didn't help the bottom of my feet, but I don't think about that. We could have cut holes in the bottom of the shoe. You could get through that carbon fiber, but anyway, so that helped the front of my toes, all my toes, the toe box, but didn't help the bottom of my feet. And so expensive shoes and dialed in and everything I like it. So when I'm not riding, 3,000 miles in 10 days, I still like these shoes a lot. So I've been riding them since then. So they made it a year, but they're starting to have some issues, and the padding on the inside is completely gone. So I introduced the Lake cycling shoes. So I bought these. These are Speed Play specific. Got the walkable cleats for all my hike a bike and trails and stuff. You can actually put these in the oven and mold them. So I got these and went for the reason why I'm introducing those. One, it's not too far from Missouri, where I was just absolutely miserable with how much my feet hurt. Yeah, so that's why.
I'll close some tabs and you can go on to your next. We did the over 50 here.
Yeah, I think we're done.
I think. Oh, you were gonna. You did talk about Dave.
Yeah. I think that probably wraps it up for tonight. Thanks for listening again. Comments if you have any questions, anything you want to talk about in the next video.
Yeah.
Hope y'all are.
Check out the RAAM page. They've got lots of good. They post a lot of news articles throughout the day and videos if you want to watch them. So.
Yeah, I mean they try. It's nowhere near as exciting as our videos. I mean ours are the best for sure. So yeah, give it a big fat thumbs up if you like this video. Woohoo! Hey, see, we got a thumb up already. Anyway,
also I would just like to point out, since this picture happens to be on here, this right here, this is Monument Valley, and it's beautiful, isn't it? But This husband of mine insisted on riding through it in the middle of a no moon night. We saw nothing.
Nothing.
The most beautiful part of the country. And we rode through it dark. And Mike and Luke will remember that I would pull up in the tiny snippets of internet that we got. I would pull up Wikipedia. I would look at the map and see what famous rock cropping was there. And I would Google it on Wikipedia. And I would tell them what would supposedly be out there. So we saw Wikipedia photos instead of a single outcropping.
They said they could see little shadows of things. I couldn't see anything because my eyes were adjusted for the headlights and my light. I couldn't see anything other than the light in front of me. So I'm sure Monument Valley is beautiful. I've seen all the pictures, but it was completely dark black the entire time.
Okay, and if you lasted this long, I'm gonna tell you one little thing. We're gonna post a little bonus to an inside a crew from ASCII Sobe. There's a woman named Laurel Daryl Simmons, and she's crewing with him, and so she gives a down and dirty glimpse into what it was like as his crew kept him from DNFing a couple days ago. And it's a really interesting read. If you want it, we'll put it in the comments of this, and you can read it if you want. And anybody that crewed with us last year will probably nod their heads as they read it, because that's how it is. It's a mental game. This whole thing is literally a mental game. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Good night, everyone.